Today in Rancho de Sancho, we're killing the vibe and murdering the ambiance. We're going to turn off the mood lights and turn on the overhead lights, because we got to do some cleaning, reorganizing, and arranging around this place, and get my new Focusrite integrated into the studio. So hopefully you can hang out for a minute and check it out. Hey, how's it going? Welcome to Rancho de Sancho Studios. I'm Keith Sanchez, and I'm glad you're here. Hope you can hang out for a bit. Like I said, a little backstory on what's going on. A few weeks ago, you'll see one of these other videos I have posted here at the end. My Focusrite Clarette 8 Pre went down on me. So first thing I got to say is that Focusrite's customer service is really awesome. Even though it's kind of tough to deal with the time barrier, it's a 7-hour difference there. So whatever time it is here, it's 7 hours later there. We got to remember that. But they got me another unit before I shipped mine back to them, so I want to say right on thanks to those guys to get it back here pretty soon, you know. While that happened, I had picked up this Arturia 8 Pre right here, the Audiofuse 8 Pre, and I really dig that thing, man. The preamps are fantastic. I gotta say, to be able to use the SM7B without the cloud lifter, and you could just pretty much crank it up and there's really no hiss, the noise floor is really low on it. It's I really like it. Plus the other features, you know, like on these first two, there's an instrument pad on there, so you hit the instrument, already drops it down. Plus you could drop it down 10 or 20 or 40 dBs, I think, as it goes, but these are like 70 dBs a gain. Even on the SM7B, I kind of got to pad it. It's really loud, which if you have one of those, you know how that goes. They require a lot of gain to get moving. The only thing that kind of I think is not as good, if anything, about the Arturia than the Focusrite is the routing software. With the Focusrite, it's a lot easier, it seems to me, to figure out. At least it was easier to me. It was more intuitive. It just does it. How to send mixes, like special mixes out from your DAW, out through the outputs on the Focusrite, out to my headphone amp down here. So different people, if somebody wants more bass or wants more guitar, I could set up individual send the things to them and just faders in there and send it back out. I had a hard time. I really couldn't figure out how to do that with the Arturia. I was having a hard time getting my normal internet because that all went right through the Focusrite. Everything just seemed to blend really easy through the Focusrite. You know, let's take a look at the Focusrite while we're at it. So, you know, I mean, they send you the USB instruction manual, the regular USB to Type-C. That's kind of seems to be the one. I don't know. Those tiny ones kind of fall out. The power cable, of course. And then here's the actual Focusrite unit. Guess we can. Anyway, so you know they put a little foam around the world clock out. I've never dealt with the world clock. ADAT seems to work. So anyway, this has the ADAT in and out. It has two of them on the Arturia because you could run it at a higher sample rate at 96K instead of 44, 48, but I only do 44 anyway, so it's really not that big of a deal. The other difference here is the SPDIF right here. So it's got a SPDIF in right here. So what I'm hoping, and that's why they call it the 18i for 18 inputs, because you got, you know, you got your 6 on the back there and then the 2 on the front. And that's the other thing I wish that this could do, that the Arturia could do, is that these 2 inputs on the Arturia, they block out the back one. So if you have your snake plugged into the back but you want to plug your guitar, you want to plug a special mic into this front input right here, it blocks out whatever's in the snake just so automatically this one becomes active. I really would wish they would do that with this. I would have done that with that. That would have been great too. But they have a lot of line outs. Monitor out, 2 headphones out. That one only has 1 headphone out, but like I said, I usually run stuff down to the headphone app. I just use that one anyway, so, but it's handy if there's just a couple people here, we don't have to get into that thing there. But one thing I'm, you know, like I said, back to the SPDIF. So how I'm hoping this works is I've got that. You'll look at this little footage here I'm going to show you. This is the Art, I forget what kind of MP, what is it called? The Art Professional 2 preamplifier. And also another unit, and you can't see, and this is something I'm excited to get rid of, is this here. I like the Behringer. I'm going to say the Behringer has worked well, and I'm going to keep it as my backup in case anything happens. This still serves as an interface, so whatever. I'm kind of got a little flexibility if something goes down. But underneath it, I have a DBX 286A, which is another like a channel stir, basically. You know, it's got the mic preamp in it. It's got a built-in compressor. It's got a built-in de-esser, an enhancer, and an expander gate kind of a deal. If I could get this working out right, where I've got the SPDIF going in with those 2 extra channels. So what I'm, like I said, what I'm hoping that how this works. So you take a cable for the. Actually, it doesn't have a preamp on the, or an XLR out on that 286, but it does TRS, so I'm going to use that. And then on that one there, it does have a balanced out, so I'm going to run that out of the Art. And then you go to your 2 channels on your digital converter block. So it's something else you have to get. 2 right ones, red to red, white to white. Then you take your digital coax out and plug it into that SPDIF in right there. So hopefully that gives me a couple more channels, especially through these extra different preamps. One of them I could kind of, have it kind of set up for when I'm talking on the YouTubes here. Another one I could run a dedicated cable up over the ceiling, kind of keep the floors a little cleaner, to run into my vocal booth. And you know, I could also use these, I think, on like snare or something like that, top and bottom of the snare, different things. I mean, 16 inputs is quite a bit. I wish I could go to 24 sometimes. I mean, if you want to record a full live metal band, you know, some of these drum sets, plus the way I like to mic with the extra room mics and different things, it'd really be nice to have that 24 channel capability. But 2 more channels, I guess, is good, you know, for another, what, $15 of cables. So, you know, that's the other one. Another one of the things I like is all of these have phantom power here. Every channel on this has phantom power on the Arturia. On the Focusrite, it's only 1 through 4, or 1 through 4 and 5 through 8. You'll see on that little board I had a couple of newer power supplies, so phantom power supply. So I just put that on that rack tray that I have, so it'll just go together with just some double-sided sticky tape I got at Home Depot. So let's get into this. What we're going to do now is, like I say, we're going to shut everything down. So all the audio you're hearing right now on this video, pretty much, except for a couple of examples here in a bit, a couple of examples that will be in the video, is all coming from the camera, because I'm taking all this apart. So once we get it apart, we'll, like I said, I'm taking this Behringer out, I'm dropping this unit down, I'm going to drop these compressors I have on this thing down so I can put that other preamp right in this section right here. And we're going to go ahead and get in the back now and start taking stuff apart, and let's do that. Okay, so this is the part where we'll probably speed it up a little bit. One thing I'm sure I'm going to be happy to get rid of is having these cables right here in the front. Alright, here's the fun part. Playing with the spaghetti. So we'll get all our mic connections back hooked up, get our ADATs hooked back up, make sure our power supplies are plugged in, and then we'll take a look at that SPDIF stuff here. So right here you can see the optical cable, got the 2 RCAs up there, powered up there. So that's the SPDIF connection. So now we're going to see how it all works. So real quick, I thought I'd do a quick sound test. So this is the SM7 directly into the Arturia channel 1 with no cloud lifter, no anything. Right now I've got the volume about halfway. Peaking out right around a little over -30. Check. Whoa. So here's about... So there's a -18 dBs. That's 3/4 of the way. Right now, I have it fully cranked. That's really loud. How's the noise floor? Okay, so we're back about halfway, about right where it should be. Should about right there, I guess. So anyway, that's the Arturia working as the audio interface. So now we're gonna check things out with the Focusrite running things. All right, so this is the SM7 going right into the Focusrite. Here it is, crank, check, check. So you could barely probably hear me now. I'm getting a signal now, I can see. Is there a lot of hiss? Check, 1, 2. Now this is the Focusrite with the air function on. Check, 1, 2, check, check, check. Now I've got it gain stage max right here, and you could barely hear it. Is there a lot of hiss? Wow. This is the Art Tube Pack, it's called. Check, 1, 2 on the SPDIF line 2. Check, check, check. This is the DBX 286A. There's the high pass filter on here. Let's see. Check, 1, 2, 1, 2. All right, so now you're hearing the Arturia going into the Focusrite, but as you can see, there's plenty of gain on tap here, so it sounds really good here. I'm pretty happy overall with the way they both work. I mean, I wish the Arturia had the same kind of software that the Focusrite had, because the Focusrite proprietary software works so much better than the Arturia stuff. But the Arturia as a unit is a lot better, I'd say, than the Focusrite. The preamps are much higher quality. They sound a lot better. They've got a lot more gain to them. It's a lot quieter. More richer sound. I recorded some practice over the weekend, and just some of the toms I had running through there just had a little more depth to them. It was pretty amazing. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you stayed this long, I really thank you a lot, and you should really consider subscribing if you sat through all this. But if you would, please subscribe, like, maybe throw a comment on the channel. It really helps me grow, and I'd really appreciate that. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.